I want to discuss this because the Niners are playing the Browns this week. Okay, and the Browns are right now with Deshaun Watson not playing. Oh, we're a team in perpetual doom and gloom. They've yet to establish a culture, basically, since they've been back in Cleveland after, they were taken away to Baltimore and all that story. We're not going to get into that. But you've covered some lean times with the 49ers. And look, you had the Jim Tom Sula, which dovetailed into the Chip Kelly era, that record of 7-25 total before Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch took over. Both first-timers in those positions, Matt. What have they done to actually flip the culture to where now the expectation is winning, not just in games, winning every day of practice?
I would say it starts before John and Kyle's arrival. When the 49ers were going through that rough patch, the organization was completely dysfunctional, with general manager and head coach often not seeing eye to eye. Maybe at times, even when things started to go wrong, pulling in opposite directions. And so what Jed York, the CEO, decided was that he looked up north into the Pacific Northwest and said, that's the kind of organization I want. So he actually used the Seattle Seahawks, John Schneider, Pete Carroll, as the template for what he wanted the 49ers to be. So it's basically, he went out and found Kyle Shanahan first, and then basically allowed Kyle Shanahan to find a general manager that he felt he could work with. And I think a surprise to everybody at the time, the guy he decided on was John Lynch, who had never been in an NFL front office, had done just a little bit of scouting, consulting work with the Broncos. But really the dynamic at the very top, Kyle and John, they work so well together. They're always on the practice field talking. They have their disagreements, but they work through it. No one's ever going to try to, force a player or something down the other one's throat that he doesn't want. So it really starts right there. And I think that really transforms its way or carries down to the locker room, where everybody can see, all the players can see that the two guys who are the most powerful people in the football organization are in it together. And you've been in that locker room. Yeah. It's a very selfless locker room. And with so many offensive stars, no one's crying for the football. So they've really done a great job of establishing that team culture. And I think having a Hall of Fame safety like John Lynch in charge of player acquisition, he's able to look beyond just what a guy can bring on the field, but he also pays particular attention to what a player brings off the field in the locker room as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, that chemistry is a huge thing. And some teams, they may have the good leadership, from the top of the building, but they can't assemble that chemistry with the players or a coaching staff like these guys have done. And remember, this is a coaching staff that's got continual drain on it because the assistants keep getting hired away. One thing I really appreciate about Kyle and John and some of the assistant coaches they have there is the transparency, right? Their openness to kind of be pretty honest, the majority of the time. And I think that's a trickle down to the players as well, because when I see you and others and we interview them, there's really no pullback. I mean, it's a really good culture there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.